So maybe a little bit of momentum out there building for Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Take a look at this new poll of potential 2016 GOP candidates. Finds Rubio leading the pack with 56% of Republican primary voters saying, and the interesting wording here, note, that you could see yourself voting for him. 56% say, yeah, I could see myself voting for Marco Rubio. But the other potential candidates not really too far off. You got 53% for Walker, 52% for Huckabee, and you can see Jeb Bush and Rand Paul close behind there. So let's bring in Ed Rollins, former campaign manager and White House advisor to President Reagan and a Fox News political analyst, and Joe Trippi, former Howard Dean campaign manager and Fox News contributor as well. Gentlemen, good to have you here this morning. Ed, let me start with you. You say that the wording is significant in this poll.
Well, it's a small poll. I don't disparage the poll at all. Wall Street Journal does great polls, but it's a small sample size. It's 229. Instead of saying, are you for, it's asked, could you see yourself supporting? Most Republicans would support most of our candidates. We've got 5, 6 great candidates. So I think Rubio's a great candidate. I don't think he's perceived as a front runner yet, but he certainly has had a couple good weeks, as some of the others have too. So I think at this point, it's a long ways before people say, that's my candidate. I'm going to go out and support him. I'm going to raise money for him. And things like organization and money and those things matter a great deal.
Yeah, Joe, looking at the Republican field, Chris Christie did not do well in this poll in terms of who could consider voting for him. 57%, I believe, said no. How big a deal is that?
Well, it's significant. One of the things you look at is, particularly this early on, is if people won't consider you, that's going to be a problem, particularly in a multi-candidate field like this. So he's got high numbers, not just, he's got lower numbers on would consider him, but he's got high numbers on, no, I'm not going to take a look at this guy. So that's a problem. I would say, look, from a Democratic point of view, you get worried if you see somebody who can appeal across the broad breadth of the Republican Party, both Tea Party conservatives and sort of mainstream or establishment Republicans. So the more someone like Rubio has a larger group of Republicans that are willing to consider him, that says to me it's these people at the top here, him Jeb Bush, Huckabee, that start to present more of a problem because of the numbers that they're garnering right now in the Republican
you've got, obviously,
consideration.
Rubio's got the Florida issue. Jeb Bush, you know, they're close neighbors in that state, and they would be vying for the same money, Ed. How much of a factor is that?
Well, the amazing thing is that as Jeb has moved forward and really started raising enormous sums of money and tying down a lot of political operatives and a lot of the establishment, Rubio has very, very much caught fire with his message. He's a very strong communicator. He's young, he's sharp, he's articulate. So I think in view of Bush's great effort in the last month or two for Rubio to move ahead like this is monumental, and I think you're going to see him as a serious candidate.
He's going to get some people paying attention to him, to be sure. So, Joe, let's talk a little bit about the other side. Jim Webb sort of making some noises about maybe joining this race. It has to be encouraging to people who thought that there was no contest here, that now this email controversy means maybe there is.
Well, look, I've always thought that there would be people entering the campaign on the Democratic side and challenge Hillary Clinton. Jim Webb certainly has been looking at it for quite a while, and I would expect him to make the race, along with Governor Martin O'Malley former Governor Martin O'Malley of Maryland, who I think he's definitely in. It's still too early to tell who else, whether anybody else is getting in, but Webb looks like he's making more concrete steps to enter the race.
All right, we'll see. Thanks, guys.
Great.
Always good to check in with
Take
you.
care.